Profile share via email report story. Chapter 23 Desperation. Izuku walked out of his room, with a gloomy look plastered on his face with a dark aura around him. He wasn't able to sleep last night, especially knowing the fact that he finally admitted that he does have feelings for Ochako. But since when did those feelings start growing? He doesn't know, and never did he ever imagine that he would fall in love. He wasn't interested in these things and never paid attention to it, or just doesn't care if he has no love life. But after meeting her, getting to know her, Izuku just never felt so overwhelmed getting caught up with these confusing and new feelings towards her. He knew now. He finally understands that he does love her after all. What should he do now? Kaminari, are you going to school today? Izuku asked, after knocking on his door. But there was no response. With his concern, he opened the door to make sure. He saw Kaminari, still laying on his bed, hiding under blanket, staring at the ceiling, blank as always. Izuku sighed in frustration. He felt sorry for Kaminari for the loss of his father. But not because of that, he made Jiro cried. Even though it wasn't his fault, he didn't do anything about it but just witness the love of his life wept in front of him. The depression in him has taken over him, which enabled him to do anything at all. Take care, he said as he left him alone. Izuku entered the campus. Just right after he entered, he felt his phone vibrated, as he saw a message sent from Iida. Midoriya-kun, I won't be going to school today. I have something to take care of, sorry. He cocked an eyebrow, surprised seeing Iida skipping school once in his life. He never would have done that ever. But he just shrugged it off, giving a reply back to him as he entered the classroom. Suddenly, he felt his heart thumping even louder. The room he's in is the same room where his crush was. He squirmed as his eyes immediately eyed at Ochako's direction, just taking a glimpse of her to make it as subtle as possible. Unfortunately, something was off. Ochako didn't show up, no sign of her at all. Is she absent today? What happened? Is she sick? Is she not feeling well? Is she alright? It worried Izuku a lot. Class was going to start really soon and she's pretty late. Or maybe she's not going to attend class today. What happened? Midoriya-kun. Someone called. What? He turned around, finding Jiro. She then said, how is he? Her tone was utterly dull and low. She sounded very awful. It's like she doesn't want to say it. He answered back. He's still in his room. Just laying down. He's not eating properly and he just shuts himself in there. She gave off a frown as a response. I see. What really happened actually? Does it have to do it between the both of you? She didn't answer, afraid he might be mad at her for knowing that she was the cause of his condition. Izuku took it as a yes already. Look, you can talk it out with him there later. She widened her eyes, surprised, with her brows saddening. Talk to him. It's my fault and I know he hates me now. I went too far on him. Her frown got even scrunched up. God, I'm so stupid. Pics. At 6-1, Obama moves out of his lavish house, here's why. Sponsored by the Decor Ideas. Read more. Promoted stories. You'll also like. Hate Meat Bakudaku. 1.3M 34.7K. Ranked number 1 in Bakudaku on 12.4.22. Strawberry Izuku Midoriya is just a useless kid without a quirk. Bakugo Katsuki is a ticking time bomb aiming for the top. When Deku beats all T. Devotion rightwards two-headed arrow Katsuki Bakugo X Reader. 1.6M 47.2K. YN is a new student at UA High. She moved away with her dad a few years ago after her mom disappeared. While she lived here, her two friends Izuku Midoriya and Katsuki Key holder Boku no Hero Academia fanfic. 2672. First, there was ice. Pain followed. This is how it has always been. But when you're hurt and alone, will anyone come to help, despite all your missteps? Fumiko Hanab. Stars aligned Katsuki Bakugo X Fem. Re. 117K 3.5K. A new student enrolled into UA, one with abilities she cannot begin to fathom, abilities she never knew of and cannot control. As dangers lurk at every corner, the Vil. Hikari. Open hollow corner bracket volume 2 Omake's close hollow corner bracket. 7.4K 196. Blank, underscore, blank, and quad. This is the story of how we all became the greatest heroes, and quad. Blank, underscore, blank. The 1 tilde Todoroki X reader, check mark. 773K 22.5K and quad. It's just, and quad. Her eyes were brimming with tears. No, please don't cry, I silently begged, I can't stand to see you hurt. And quad, I don't want to see any of. A million reasons. Izwocha fanfic. Under. 70.5K 988. Ochako Uraraka and Izuku Midoriya have always had feelings for each other, but they never wanted to admit it. They have always wanted to find opportunities to tell each. The other boy smiled. Just talk to him. I know Kaminari isn't that type of person. He gave off a small chuckle. She looked down, trying to come up with a decision to actually talk to him. She doesn't know if he should. She just doesn't know. Come on, I bet my whole life he missed you so bad. He told to make her a bit better. And it did. Her self-esteem boosted a bit, letting it push herself to make up her mind. She then said, I'll try. Is it alright if I could stop by later? His smile got wider. Of course. Jiro was afraid, but she shouldn't let that stop her. Kaminari is in a very bad state because of her. She has to do something about it. She can't just leave him like that. She cares about him. Good morning, class. The teacher greeted as soon as he entered the room. The whole class greeted back as they went back to their respective places. Jiro went to hers as Izuku did as well. He then immediately turned his head to Ochako's place. His eyes saddened. She really didn't show up. Izuku didn't get to talk with any of his friends. The four of them didn't bother meeting up for lunch while Iida wasn't there. So he decided to just walk around school alone to kill some time. Things just got worse and worse these past few days. Friendships are slowly breaking, some are struggling to keep together while some are completely shattered. Izuku really wanted to talk to her today, but he was just unfortunate to found that she didn't go today. He wants to settle things with her about his feelings already, but he doesn't how to express it. God damn it, Izuku, she's literally still there mad at you and you're not going to do anything about it. He said to himself, slamming his head onto the poles in the corridor next to the open garden. How much of a pathetic loser can you get? He stopped his actions and think deeper. It was so difficult, really. He has never done this before and it was the hardest thing in his life. How can I say it to her? Stop talking to yourself, you fucking weirdo. Ah, Izuku screamed from the sudden situation. BB Bakugo, I'm sorry. He glared at him and looked back down to the ground. Just shut up, idiot. Sorry, I'll be going, he told, but just as he could leave, Bakugo stopped him by calling his name. Midoriya, he called, I need to talk to you. He said in a lowly tone. Izuku was taken aback, looking around to see if this was serious. Usually, if he wanted a talk with Izuku, he would might as well harshly pull his collar to their destination and having him shouting at him all over again. But it was different. Talk about what? He grunted angrily, closing his eyes. As he said, I'm no better, honestly. Izuku cocked an eyebrow, not getting any idea of what's going on. He couldn't quite comprehend what he just said, so he just kept quiet, waiting for him to continue. Because interrupting him, you'll only get a loud shout from him in your face in the end. Izuku was still afraid of him. I forced you to avoid Uraraka so that I could have her to myself. But I feel like that's the worst mistake, he told. He then proceeded. If you literally followed my demand, if you completely ignored her, who would have saved her from drowning last time? Who would have always gave her a smile on her face? Who would have helped her in getting high grades in the class? It was all you. And actually, I'm the one getting in the way. Not you. Izuku widened his eyes, with his brows starting to sadden. Bakugo. Bakugo continued, I can never be there for her. I'm no good at all. I forced you to avoid her, but you're always the one for her. Bakugo, he called. Bakugo furrowed his brow, twitching it, feeling a bit irritation but managed to control himself. It's okay if you're not there for her. Not everyone can be there for someone, and I don't want you to think of it that way. Bakugo replied, Hey, Midoriya. Izuku was taken aback with his response. What? I know you like Uraraka. He flinched a bit, feeling a blush on his cheeks once again. He kept quiet, squirming his mouth as his body stiffened. It looked like Bakugo wasn't wrong. I think you should go to her. He raised an eyebrow. Go, now, but what about you? Bastard, Uraraka and I settled things together already. But that doesn't mean she's already okay. So go to her. She really needs someone right now. He said to him. Izuku replied, I will try. He scratched his nape, nervously. Bakugo sighed. Just please make her happy. Izuku looked intently at him, feeling his guilt and regrets in his tone from all the trouble he had made, causing the awful results of Ochako now. She's not the same person Bakugo always loved to see. Izuku felt the same way. I will, he said, sternly. All right, you can go now. The green-haired then went back inside. But he received one last thing from Bakugo. I'm sorry, Midoriya, for everything. Izuku widened his eyes at the floor, hearing those words. He looked back at Bakugo, whose eyes are still glued to the ground. Izuku smiled at him. It's okay. We're friends, now, and I promise you, as a friend, I will make Uraraka-san happy for you. He looked at him. I never said anything about being friends. Izuku laughed sadly. I see. Sorry. Bakugo then showed off a slight smile on his lips. But thanks, Midoriya. The other boy smiled back. No problem. Dash dot. Izuku stared at ground, still thinking if what to say to Ochako. He wasn't prepared at all. He doesn't even know what to say or do once he gets there. It was a mess. You Uraraka-san, he said to himself for a short practice. The words he wanted to say was still clogged in his throat. God damn it. He swore. Midoriya. Izuku flinched a bit with the voice. His eyes slowly glared as it followed to Hagakure behind him. What are you doing here? She asked. The guy didn't answer back but turned away, still furious at her because of the incident between Ochako and her. She sighed. Look, I know I've done something so wrong, alright. Why in hell would you do such thing? Hagakure frowned. I know, I'm so sorry. He clicked his tongue, with his blood slowly boiling. Yes, that's how mad he was. But, I'm just here to clear up something. What? He asked. She then said, I know you like Uraraka and that I hurt her. I'm just saying, Midoriya, you are actually a really good person and being friends with you is honestly nice. You're very humble, caring and friendly. I feel very horrible for doing that stuff and I'm actually not type of person as you think I am. He still looked at her with the same irritated face. But I actually like you as a friend and I would like us to be friends. I already apologized deeply to Uraraka a few moments ago after realizing my mistakes. I'm sorry, Midoriya. I really want to fix this. Izuku sighed lowly and softly. I'm sorry for getting mad like this. I should have acted better than this. No, it's my fault. I've been such a jerk towards everyone. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry as well, but don't worry, it's okay. I'm not mad anymore. He gave off his smile. The smile that was so soothing it warms Hagakuri's heart, basically everyone's heart. Suddenly from the corner of Izuku's eyes, he saw a glimpse of Bakugo again across the other side of the corridor, walking in class. He looked over to him as Bakugo looked back at him after. Oh, you, he called the green-haired. Izuku raised a brow. Me, why, I forgot to tell you. Uraraka told me something but she doesn't want anyone to know about it, he said. She told me she's moving school. Izuku stared at him, with a blank expression. What did he just say? Ochako, moving, school, E-H-A-N. Guys. Sorry for this awfully short chapter. This is actually the shortest chapter I've ever done because yes, you know what it is next chapter is bound to be the best one yet. If a chapter is short and nothing much to it, it's just that I want the moment to be weighted and exciting. Sorry guys ha 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 ha. Also some of you, many of you mistakes me for a guy. Y'all, I'm a lady. A girl, a female, a sister, a daughter. I'm a girl, everyone. Okay, so, out of all my, coming soon, books, majority, detention had the most commented. Okay, so here's the thing guys, in my opinion, based on my opinion, okay. I think killing addict would be very interesting for me maybe it's because you don't know what the real story is all about. Let me just give you a small summary of the story. Izuku has an addiction in killing people just because he likes it and it pleases him to see blood and people suffering. So basically, he's a complete psycho. Ochako is a loner, no friends, being bullied, she has long, frizzy, unattractive, messy hair. She doesn't shower that much because she's a shut-in and is obsessed with horror-related stuffs. So as Ochako was supposed to be the next victim of Izuku, but something happened and she somehow avoided meeting her death and has to do whatever Izuku tells her to not get killed. So a few moments later, something happened and Ochako, too, has the same addiction as Izuku and the same feeling he's having when he kills people. So what will happen with those two then? When it comes out, you will know smiley face. That's all I wanna say guy SSS. Thanks for reading. See you in the next chapter. Where stories live. Discover now.